Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Excuse me, it is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning, happy Monday to each and every one of you. Wow, the LBRY took the L versus the SEC. LBRY with the LBC token just reported about a half hour ago that they took the L, took the loss versus the SEC. What does that mean? For the SEC versus Ripple case, we're going to get into it. The market, again, is doing what the market does, but I believe it to be a sad, sad day in the world of crypto. I mean, if there was a token, if ever there was a token that had a use case behind it, interesting stuff. We're going to go over the judge's ruling and how he kind of got to where he got. Yeah, just not a great day for crypto for sure. Very, very sad. We'll get into that. And of course, we'll go with the market as well, guys. So listen, this is your XRP Ripple daily news in around 0 to 10 minutes. Let's refresh on CoinGecko, find out what the total cryptocurrency market cap is. It's at 1.08 trillion. It's the total cryptocurrency market cap, which is down 2.3% on 24 hours. However, it is down from over 3 trillion as a total all-time high, down to 1.80 trillion. The Bitcoin dominance again is at 37%. Bitcoin is currently trading at $20,738, and Ethereum is trading at $1,582. XRP is trading at 47 cents. Polygon, the Matic token, is up 39% on the 7-day, trading at $1.26. Interesting stuff. Litecoin is up 24% on the 7-day. Interesting stuff in this market for sure. The Chile's token is trading at 27 cents, and it is up 22% on the 7-day. Let's get into the news. The very, very sad news here. It says from LBRY, we lost. Sorry, everyone. They put up a good fight, I do have to say. Let's check it out here and see from the CEO. I'm going to imagine we're going to lick our wounds for a little bit, but we're not giving up. We've got a bright team, tens of millions of pieces of content, hundreds of thousands of creators, and one of the most popular Web3 apps in the world. The best is yet to come. The full ruling in the SEC versus LBRY case can be read here. The language used here sets an extraordinarily dangerous precedent that makes every cryptocurrency in the United States a security, including Ethereum. Jeremy Hogan, he tweets here, you fought the fight, no need to apologize. I'm going to go over some of the stuff here in a second from the judge's ruling. Just an interesting comment in the tweet thread. Why should the U.S. decide for everyone? Move to crypto neutral places like EU, Singapore, Dubai until American regulators get in line with crypto industry progress. Yep. And unfortunately, people will be doing that. So anyway, let's go over this thread. Then I'm going to, because a lot of people now are wondering, how is this going to affect the SEC versus Ripple case, right? This is the interesting part here that I found in this ruling here for the SEC and against LBRY. Okay, the present case is obviously quite different from the problem the court confronted in Upton. I guess part of LBRY's defense was this Upton case. So as the judge writes, the SEC has not based its enforcement actions here on a novel interpretation of a rule that by its terms does not expressly prohibit the relevant conduct. Instead, the SEC has based its claim on a straightforward application of a venerable Supreme Court precedent that has been applied by hundreds of federal courts across the country over more than 70 years. And this is the problem that I'm having here. And I know one of the attorneys had mentioned this. I don't know if it was Attorney Bill if it was Fred Rispoli, but they were concerned about this here, just previous court rulings over 70 years. While this may be the first time it has been used against an issue of digital tokens, says the judge, that did not conduct an ICO, LBRY is in no position to claim that it did not receive fair notice that its conducts were unlawful. Conclusion. As I have explained, the only issues raised by the parties' cross motions for summary judgment are whether LBRY offered LBC as a security and whether LBR received fair notice that it needed to register its offerings. So they went with the fair notice defense and the LBC token. Because no reasonable trier of fact could reject the SEC's contention that LBRY offered LBC as a security, and LBRY does not have a triable defense, a triable, it says triable defense, that it lacked fair notice. The SEC is entitled to judgment. The SEC's motion for summary judgment is granted, and LBRY's motion for summary judgment is denied. The clerk shall schedule a status conference to discuss the process for resolving any remaining issues. So ordered. This is from Judge Paul J. Barbadoro. And I'm sure Jeremy Hogan and I'm sure John Deaton and Attorney Bill and Fred Rispoli will have their comments about this, but it's a very, very interesting thing. Now, how, if anything at all, does this affect what's going on with the SEC versus Ripple? I don't think it does have anything to do. I think they're two different cases and they've been argued differently. And we're just about on summary judgment and on settlement timing. So let's see here. Jeremy Hogan put something out. So I think it's very, very interesting. It says why the SEC cannot meet its burden on at least one element of the Howey test. In order to win at summary judgment, the SEC has to do two things: prove every element by the greater weight of the evidence and prove that there is no genuine dispute of a material fact. Looking at the expectation of profits based on efforts of others prong, what do we see? Let me do this. Let me read something here I think is important. John Deaton tweeted this out. XRP holders made a huge difference, as I say in the amicus brief. The SEC's original intent was to rely on the rank speculation of an alleged expert who failed to interview a single XRP holder before forming its opinions. Remember, these judges rule based upon the evidence that is given and applied in the court. So this is why I think what happened with the LBRY and the ruling there will not affect the SEC's case. So again, why the SEC cannot meet its burden on at least one element of the Howey test. In order to win a summary judgment, says Jeremy Hogan, the SEC has to do two things: prove every element by the greater weight of the evidence and prove that there is no genuine dispute of a material fact. Looking at the expectation of profits based on efforts of others prong, what do we see? First, the SEC's sole evidence is statements from Ripple and a handful of purchases about Ripple's involvement in the price of XRP. It abandoned its expert witnesses on this issue, which is absolutely massive that they did do that. Ripple counters the SEC with its own expert witness who correlates XRP price action with market forces, especially since 2018. And Ripple apparently also files 3,000 affidavits from Deaton and XRP holders that they were not looking to Ripple to increase the XRP price. Burden met. It's not likely, but he just says burden met, the question mark. Seems to me, and tell me if you disagree, says Attorney Hogan, the SEC has absolutely failed to meet its greater weight of the evidence burden. Greater weight of the evidence burden. And I think that's the difference between the LBRY case and the Ripple case, is this greater weight of evidence. A handful of statements over 8 years versus expert opinions in 3,000 affidavits. But even putting that aside, is there a genuine issue of material fact here? Ripple has submitted direct, hard evidence that a reasonable XRP purchaser was not relying on Ripple to increase price. I don't see how the judge ignores that evidence and grants summary judgment on this prong of the test. Not saying that the SEC can't win, but it can't win here. Very, very interesting. Great stuff from Attorney Hogan, as always. Again, sad day for LBRY. And, you know, it's kind of going forward, the SEC is going to use this for future cases. And when the dust settles, it's going to be very, very tough. We'll see what happens in the summary judgment here and what that's going to look like. But unfortunately, the SEC is going to be able to use this one and navigate around its lawyering tricks to try to bring down some other stuff and obviously increase its foothold in the digital asset space. So, but in reference to whether or not this will affect the SEC versus Ripple case, I honestly, personally do not believe that to be the case at all. All right, guys, listen, this wraps up your XRP Ripple daily news in around 0 to 10 minutes. I hope it has been of value to you. If it has, do me a favor, hit the like button so that we can let more YouTube and get the channel out to more people that are hanging out on YouTube, watching dog mom videos. Okay, we need to let the world know that we need a new 1%, that we have this new asset class that's being built right underneath their noses, and to head on over to the Crypto Caesars channel and other great YouTube content channels out there that can help them level up and realize they have an opportunity to create generational wealth. If you want to help in doing that and creating a new 1%, hit the like button. If you enjoyed the hangout, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so as you get notified whenever we go live or whenever we do upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this.
Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather that we remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it.